Hey YouTube, so let's talk about the fish that I have in my tanks now, these Peru fish. I'm going to feed them a little. You should see quite a few of these tetras show up. The focus will depend on where they are in the depth of the water. The rest of these fish seem to be doing really well. I'm not having any issues out of them. It's possible that I'll need to hang on while I get them back in focus a little bit. It's possible that I'm going to need to deworm them. From my talking with Dean, that's the one thing that he did not do. He treated them for all kinds of stuff, but he did not deworm them. And these nigricinctus, the black belt cichlids, I keep saying that. Black belt tetras seem to be doing just wonderfully. Knock on wood, I have not lost any of them, and I am having really good luck with them. They're eating voraciously, and they seem to enjoy their tank, and they deal with the water flow pretty well. They know the areas of the tank that are slow moving now, and they seem to understand how to do it. I think I've zeroed in on a ID of the 3 fish that are slightly different. I've studied the pictures on the Go Wild Peru site, and I have pretty much decided that they are what are called black spot tetras. They look sort of like the blues, but they're not. They're slightly different species, and I think I have 3 of them in here with probably a dozen or so nigricinctus. And these black spots seem to be doing pretty well. They school together, separate from the nigricinctus sometimes, and sometimes they run with the nigricinctus. So it's working out to be an all right setup in the sense of how the fish get along and how they are doing. The 3 plecos that I have in this 55 are doing really well, and I'm pretty happy with the setup. I'm pretty happy with the way it's functioning and running, and I also feel like the fish are pretty happy. They're all getting fat. I'm overfeeding them a little bit just because I want to try to get them into some kind of shape, and they seem to be enjoying the fact that they're being overfed a little bit. They all seem to be fattening up. They all seem to be doing fine. Some of the smaller ones aren't getting quite as fat as the others, but that's basically how things work out. Some fish are first to the food, the bigger fish, the faster fish, and some kind of hang back and get what comes later. So they seem to be finding enough to eat other than my feedings to keep them going until I feed them. And I will pop back in a second with the 30 gallon. Alright, here we are looking into the 30. You can see one of these cichlids right here in front. And I have been studying these guys, trying to figure out exactly what they are, and I'm getting more and more sure that these are cichlids, and this is a species that is supposedly only found in Bolivia, and that is not found outside of just one region. But the more I have studied it, the more sure I am that this is exactly what this species is. Now, bear with me while I span around here, because these fish don't really stay still for you. They will continuously keep moving. Okay, one of the ways that I have started feeding these fish, because I really feel like that I've got a pair here, and you can see some of the cories bouncing around there too. I really feel like I've got a pair, and I'm trying to fatten them up for breeding purposes. One of the best ways to get fish to breed is to feed them a lot of food that they really like, and then they seem to want to breed for you better. And what I have decided to feed with for this purpose is fruit flies. My wife and I eat fruit, and because of that we have fruit flies in our house, and I have caught about 100 fruit flies over the past couple of weeks. And I just use a Tupperware bowl or a plastic food storage bowl, and I put a banana peel in it, and then I leave the lid off and I leave the bowl alone for a while, and then I walk in and drop the lid on it suddenly, and then I take that bowl and I put it in the freezer until the fruit flies quit moving, i.e. they're frozen. And then I take the bowl back out of the freezer when I get ready to feed, and I drop them in. And as you can see, these two cichlids know what I'm doing. They know that I'm feeding fruit flies at the top of the water. I just get them on the end of my finger. Once my finger gets wet, they stick real well to my finger, and I just dip my finger in the tank until the fruit flies come off the end of my finger. And it's I guess if you don't like having fruit flies in your house, then you're probably not going to have enough to use them in the way that I'm using them, as a food source for fish. But I find them a wonderful method to get fish into breeding condition. Now, they may not have fruit flies in their native area, but they have insects of some sort that fall into the water at a certain time of the year, and they then use that as a way to start their breeding. And this little one's not too afraid of me anymore, and I'm hoping that that's a she, but she's not too afraid of me anymore. So I can actually just drop them in the tank in front of her, and she will get them immediately. So I call these fish the Chiquito or Chiquito cichlids. Now, the name Chiquito means wine throat, and you will have to look closely at this male. If I can get him into focus before he swims away. He doesn't like the camera. He doesn't like that camera pointed at him at all. But look how red his throat is. And that's why I think that is exactly what these fish are, is the wine red throat cichlid. And the place they come from in Bolivia is a very warm river. And the place we got them from is not warm at all. It was pretty darn cold compared to what most Amazonian areas are. But they are a gorgeous fish. He is just not going to help me here. He's not going to stand still long enough for me to get a good... And there he goes hiding. You can see the smaller one easier. She doesn't seem to run quite as much, but she's not exhibiting as much of the red throat as this one is. And you can see the little cories bouncing in and out of the focus. They have gotten to be really at home in their tank. They don't seem to be quite as afraid as they were, and they seem to really be adjusting well. They have to fight these two cichlids for food because these guys are not willing to give up their food easily. They fight for everything that goes in the tank. And they're going around and picking off all these flies that are being dropped in. The little bit of flow that I've got in this tank creates a situation where they're there you get a good look at that red wine color on the throat. The lighting in this tank is not all that great. If I go get my my LED light and put it on this tank, that male, or what I assume is a male, he will just completely disappear from view. He does not like a bright light. He's happy with the little light that I use. Anyway, I'm just trying to give you guys an update of what I've learned about the fish that I've gotten from Peru, and how I am and they are adjusting to being in these tanks. So far I've been really happy with I mean, I was really sad to lose the one green gold that I had. That really set me back to actually get one and then lose it within a few days. It didn't last much past the actual footage I got that I used in my video. It basically passed away that night, early the next morning. But everyone else seems to be doing pretty well. They seem to be adjusting all right to the environs that I have given them to live in. And we're both doing our best to see to it that they make it. Alright, YouTube, just wanted to give you a little update. Let you know that they are doing well. The ones that I have left. Good luck.